I guess, afternoon. Started the day off kind of early here. Woke up, got some work done. Just got finished at the gym, showered, so I'm nice and clean. But I've been sitting here trying to figure out what I want to do today and where I want to go. Because if you watch my channel, most of the time, you know, I never really have a plan. I do have my new fly fishing rod, so I might try to find a place down by a river to camp for the night, and then maybe wake up early in the morning, see if we can catch some trout or something, or whatever you catch down here. I don't really know. I've never been fly fishing before, so this will be my first time. But I have gotten most of my chores done for the day, which is nice. So I don't really have anything else to do other than go grocery shopping for some food for tomorrow, because I think tomorrow I'm gonna cook myself a massive breakfast feast down by the river or wherever we end up camping, because I haven't done that in a while. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. I figured why not, but for now, we've got to go to the store, pick up some ingredients. I'm actually really excited to get out there and start fly fishing more this summer. It's something I've always wanted to do and always have just put off because I didn't know how to do it and I didn't have anyone to show me. But I mean, like I've said in my other videos, it feels pretty stupid to let that be the only reason that I don't do something. Alright. So we just gotta run inside and grab everything. And we need to cook our mountain man breakfast tomorrow morning. I also got myself a Subway sub that I ate half of inside the Walmart. Get all this put away and then we're gonna find a spot to camp tonight. All right, so I think I found a spot that I wanna camp tonight. It's on this river about an hour away. It's called the Waihe River, O-W-Y-H-E-E. So let's hit the road again for the billionth time on this channel. Absolutely beautiful out here. But I think the spot we're gonna try to camp is down here. Looks like there's a lot of spots that are taken up by people, but we're gonna pull down here and see what's down here. There's a bunch of people down there camped over there. Looks like there might be a fire in here. I'm not too sure. Maybe I'll send the drone up or something and see if I can find a spot. This thing is awesome for like scouting out places, so I don't have to like drive down unknown roads with no knowledge of what's down them. A little windy out, so I don't know how far we can go to get, but
maximum flight distance reached.
All right, so it looks like there might be a pullout big enough, like right down the way a little bit, that I could stop at. All right, let's go pull down there and see what we can find. Yeah, so we'll take this spot right here. This is nice because it's nice and private too. Just pull it right by this fire pit, right on the river. How beautiful is this? I actually decided I want to be on the side that's closer to the river so I can open up my doors and not have people driving by it. There we go. This is home for the night. What a beautiful spot. It's a little bit windy out there. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the canyon kind of block some of it, so it's not too bad. I do worry anytime I'm near like a body of water like this about field mice, because they're usually around areas like this. And if you've been following me for long enough, you'll know that I 2 years ago caught a mouse in the van and then bought it like a 3-story house and kept it in the van with me for like 3 months up in the passenger seat, and it was fun. I found it in a Walmart parking lot, or I would say it broke into my house, and then stayed there for like 3 days while it tormented me. And then I ended up catching it, put it in the house, and then 4 weeks later it had 6 babies. So I raised all the babies and then I had to let the mouse go. But we don't have any mouse. Actually, I think I do have a mouse trap in the van right now, so I guess if we do catch one, we'll be fine. But right next to the river, perfect place to, I guess, try out that fly fishing rod maybe tomorrow. If you guys watched my last video, I met a guy at a fly fishing shop when I went to go get mine. That was a fly fisherman, has been doing it down here all the time. Appreciate it. What was your name?
My name's Dalton.
Dalton? Ryan, nice to meet you.
Man.
I ended up getting his number, and he just so happens to be coming out here tomorrow to fish. So he might help me string up my rod and show me how to cast, which will be fun tomorrow morning. But I'm gonna put a jacket on because it is kind of cold. Now, I think what I'm gonna do is set up my Starlink, because I have no service down here in the canyon. It should be able to work kind of fine. We got a pretty decent view of the sky. Sometimes it won't work. If you're close enough to the canyon walls, it'll block the signal, but we're kind of smack dab in the middle right here, so it should be fine. So I'm gonna get that set up. And I really need to upgrade to that new flat Starlink. This thing is like 2.5 years old, and I still have the big dish and the big router. They have a new Starlink where it's all built into like this super flat router. Make it so much easier to set up. And it runs on 12 volt. This runs on 120. So I need my inverter on, which is kind of a pain because it does use a decent amount of power, not too much, but enough to where I couldn't leave it running nonstop and not have to think about how much power I'm using. But that being said, it's easy enough to set up. Just plug it in, throw it on the roof, and it's good to go. And honestly, normally I hate coming to places like this on a weekend, like on a Saturday, because they're usually packed to the brim with people, especially when you're close to a city and it's like free camping, easy to get to. But it's actually not too bad. It's probably because it's early in the season right now, so it's still a little bit cold out. Also, I changed my jacket because this one's a little warmer. Alright, so I'll probably try to take this out again in the sunset once it gets a little darker. But I think while I wait for the sun to set a little bit more, should be about an hour-ish. I'm gonna finish this book. I've only got 50 pages left, and I really cannot wait to see what happens in the end. So, said in my last video, give this book a shot. I haven't been able to stop reading it. I'm addicted to it, and I think I'm gonna be actually quite sad when it's over. But we'll find out in about 30 minutes. All right, so it ended up taking me a little longer, but I did finish the book. Ending was pretty good. I would have liked to have seen a little more, but overall, I'd give that book 9.2, which isn't much coming from me because I don't really read books that often, but sun is set a little more. I think I'm gonna try to take a few more pictures and then make some really quick dinner. The one thing about this camera is I don't really know how to frame pictures like well. Like I don't know what necessarily makes a good picture. Like where do I go? Where do I point it? So I'm just kind of pointing and shooting. I would have never known this was here if I hadn't talked to Dalton, who was the guy at the fly fishing shop who we're gonna meet tomorrow. But very glad I did. Beautiful out here. All right, I think that's enough pictures. I'm getting hungry. So on the menu tonight for dinner, I'm gonna throw on another jacket, is pho. Instant pho, to be exact. This is, and I've said it before, I found it at this Asian mart the other day when I was getting my poke ingredients. This is the best instant pho I have ever found. And every time I see it, I always have to grab some, so I grabbed 2 of them. That's where I'm for dinner tonight. Also, I really hope the camera is doing it justice. These rocks and these hills that are right outside my window are so crazy cool looking. There's like a little cave up in the top. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Like right up there, it looks like it'd be like the home to like a little hobbit or a golem or something. Into this like ridge line up here. It just looks so crazy. Like the contrast of like the green grass growing on the red rocks and all the little different imperfection in the rocks. It's just so crazy to look at. And there's definitely mosquitoes out right now. I can see them flying around. One bad thing about van life in the summer, bugs. So if I see one fly in here, so far we're pretty lucky. But once it gets dark, they're gonna start trying to fly in here like crazy. So I'll probably have to close the door, but I cannot wait to eat. Just sitting here with the car on, warming up, because it was actually freezing cold last night. But then I looked out my back window and I saw Dalton was here. So he can help me string up my fly fishing rod. Yeah, absolutely beautiful morning. It was a little bit windy last night. I did think at one point my Starlink was gonna go blowing off the top, but luckily it didn't. So for anyone who watched my last video, this is Dalton from the fly fishing store. Yeah. What is it, TRR yes, Outfitters? Sir. He was helping me pick out this fly fishing rod and just happened to be coming down to the canyon today, so he offered to help me set up my rod and maybe go fishing later. Are you fishing after you do the clean out?
I might fish a little bit. Gonna be back in town around 5, so I might get 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. What do you typically fish for in the river? Is it just trout?
Yeah, a lot of brown trout. There's some rainbows in there too, which are pretty sweet. But for brown trout fishery, I'd say this is probably one of the best fisheries in like the Northwest. So I'm gonna take this piece. And you can go like off the back of the hook, but sometimes like these hooks up here are barbless,
Uh-huh.
so you can't tie off the back of the hook because it'll just slide right off. So what I'll do is just go eyelet to eyelet.
And then you just tie another hook onto the end of that string?
Yeah.
And what is this called again?
This is a double nymph rig.
Those are so tiny.
They're tiny.
You ever catch a fish with that?
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. How long did you say you've been fishing for?
Full life, man. I grew up on this river. Grew up in Boise, so fished
Okay.
this river a ton growing
I
up.
feel like that's my biggest issue with fishing is I travel so much that I'm always fishing different bodies of water.
Yeah.
So it's like a different style each time, and then I always end up never catching anything.
Nymphing, man. If you figure out nymphing, you can really fish it anywhere.
I guess this isn't the most ideal fishing spot.
Not the most ideal.
So is that how you kind of get the line out? You just let it go out in the river?
Yeah, you can just pull it out from like the reel.
Mhm.
That's why I like it loose. It's a little bit easier. Like when you're going to roll cast, I usually try to get it upstream of me. So like lift up the rod, draw a rainbow, flip it over, and then you can just like point your rod tip back and flick it out there.
Okay. So there's a couple, for those of you who are watching, there's a couple different types of casts. I was watching YouTube videos last night and I was talking to him about a roll cast because this guy was doing it. I didn't know what it was, but it's like whatever he just did.
Yeah.
You flick it up and the bait will kind of like roll down like a whip almost and flick into the water at the end. At least
Yeah.
that's what, from my understanding, it happens.
When I go to set the hook, I've got these two fingers on my line. That's your tension. So if a fish was on, I could be pulling that fish in. Then if he takes off again, I just kind of let it slide through.
So
my
you
fingers
so
a
you
little bit.
pull it in with your hand, not the reel?
Not the reel, yeah. So a lot of the times you have this slack line. Now if the fish were to take off like way downstream and take all the slack away, then it's on the reel. So if it's like that, then you can just reel it in.
Okay.
Like when you're fishing, you've usually got like quite a bit of slack on you.
You're just pulling it all the way in up to the tip of the rod?
Like a lot of times, like it's called line management. So like if you're not managing your line correctly, you might have like 40 feet of line at your feet. Not too much to it, just the roll cast, man. Get that bobber downstream of you and just flick it upstream, draw a rainbow.
Sweet, it seems easy enough. I'm sure I'll mess it up though somehow.
There's that guy for you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I threw in a bunch of just like small little patterns.
Sweet.
I would say like give each one 20 or 30 minutes and then swap it out.
Sweet.
Switch up your depth a little bit. I'll throw some split shot in there for you too, just in case you were to break off. Well,
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, I'll see you later. Hopefully
Yeah.
today.
Right on. Get
Appreciate it. I was telling him, it's like you don't see people with that kind of passion anymore. He's just excited to be out on the river and fishing. He lives down in his camper 8 months out of the year fishing, and said he's happy just as long as he's showing people how to fish, which is pretty cool. But I feel like in some ways I'm pretty envious because I don't really know if I have a passion like that, so it's just really cool to see. But I am definitely getting hungry, and we've got all that breakfast food sitting in the fridge, so let's get to cooking a mountain man breakfast. You also can see now in the morning a little bit more definition on those rocks over there. Couldn't really see it last night because the sun was setting over there, but now since it's on that side of the canyon, it's pretty cool. So I've got pretty much every breakfast food you could probably imagine. And I did actually get some oranges because I was gonna make some fresh squeezed orange juice, but I realized now that I'm out here I don't have any way to juice them. So unless I can figure out how to do that by hand, I don't know if we're gonna have some orange juice today. There's our spread of what we're gonna be cooking. First things first, we're gonna start with the easy stuff, and that is my fruit cup. And really the only thing I need to do with this is chop up some fruit, throw it in a bowl, and then that part is pretty much done. And there we go. Step one, complete. We're gonna do sausage bacon in here, hash browns in here, eggs in here, but we're gonna cook the sausage and bacon first and then do pancakes in this pan after. So I'm gonna get started on the sausage and bacon. I think I'm gonna do the sausage two ways. I'm gonna do little sausage patty pucks to put on the side, and then I'm gonna do some ground up to throw into my eggs with some cheese. And the sausage patties will be pretty convenient because it came in a tube, so I'll just slice it up. We got some nice thick cut bacon for today's breakfast. But, and this is true for any kind of hash brown, if you're making them fresh or you're getting it from a bag like this, you want your pan to be super hot with some oil in there. And then you can go ahead and add your potatoes in. And then you get them spread out evenly throughout the entire pan. So basically every potato has one side touching the bottom. And actually you can add in some butter before you do that. Let that melt. And then the trick is you let the potatoes sit for 5 to 10 minutes depending on how hot your pan is. And you just let them get a nice color on one side, and then you start to flip them. And depending on how big they are, you can flip them all one by one, but I'm gonna get these nice and coated in that butter. And also season those up with a little bit of sea salt, paprika, and then some garlic powder, and that's pretty much it for the seasonings. Now we'll just let those sit for about 10 minutes on super high heat. So while we kind of wait for those to cook up, I'm gonna prep the rest of the stuff we need to prep, which isn't too much. So we've got some cheese that we're gonna cut up to throw into our eggs. We got some chives. I'm gonna cut this croissant in half. And this is definitely a homemade croissant. I just didn't film it, but I 100% made this fresh this morning, if you guys couldn't tell. And we'll get this cheese just roughly chopped up too. Beautiful. Ooh, that looks good. And then kind of as stuff finishes, I'm just gonna take it out and set it on some paper towels, specifically for the bacon and the sausage to let it soak up some of that grease. And I think these sausages are done. And I do like my bacon a little crispier. It's just personal preference, but I like it to be nice and almost burnt when I'm eating it. And these potatoes are looking fantastic. Let's see how they look. Oh, look at that. That's kind of the color you're looking for, just to make them pop a little bit. They're also mashing together because they're not fresh, but not too bad. And this bacon is just about ready to come out though too. And you know what? I actually just had another idea. I think instead of doing eggs in that one, I'm gonna do eggs in this one so I can cook them in the bacon grease. I'm gonna get rid of some of this, and then I'm just gonna make singular perfect pancakes in this one, hopefully. So I like personally to add either a little bit of milk, and if I don't have milk, I'll add a little bit of mayonnaise to my eggs. Helps them get a little more fluffy. Ideally you do milk or like a heavy cream or a creme fraiche. Alright, so we got our butter melted in this back pan for our pancakes. This pan is cooled down enough, so we'll get the eggs going in there. You don't want it to be too hot, depending on how you want your eggs cooked. I like them nice and kind of wet if I can. Might be a little bit hard for me today because I'm trying to cook so much at once. But I got this on a super, super low heat and just constantly keep these eggs moving. Maybe do like a few of those. I got enough for about 3 of them. My girlfriend got me this sick apron for Christmas, and I keep forgetting to wear it. It's definitely an upgrade from my last apron too. It's got a bunch of pockets and places to put things. I can throw my knives in here, some rags, trinkets and whatnot up here. But at least now I won't get my clothes dirty. I added a little bit more pancake mix to the mixture to thicken it up. I think it was getting a little too runny. Also completely forgot, I'm gonna throw some blueberries in these pancakes. Forgot that I bought these. I think now that our egg is starting to cook up, I'm gonna throw in some of this cheese. Let that melt in there. And just make sure to constantly keep this moving. There we go, our egg is cooking up kind of nicely. This is kind of exactly what you're looking for. Depending on how wet you want your eggs, you can pull them off pretty much whenever you want. I like them a little bit drier, not too wet, but I do like them a little wet. Boop, 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 boop. All right, so I think these hash browns are pretty much ready to come out. Go ahead and throw these over here. I'm gonna take some butter that I chopped off. Get that melting in that pan and use that to kind of crisp up my croissant. Soak up all that butter. Pancakes done. Eggs look like they are just about done. All we gotta do is wait for that croissant. And we're good to eat our breakfast. So that's kind of the consistency I typically go for when I'm trying to cook really good scrambled eggs. If I'm in a rush, I don't really care. I won't cook them like that, but there's one last piece of the puzzle that I want to figure out. And although I don't have a juicer, I want to see how much juice I can get out of these oranges just by hand squeezing them. I don't really know the best way to go about this. I got about that much from a half. So I'm gonna squeeze up the rest of these and see how much we get. Alright, so I only ended up squeezing 2 of the oranges. Got a decent amount, actually, but it just felt really wasteful because I wasn't getting as much juice out of them, so I didn't squeeze the last 2. We got about 2 or 3 sips of orange juice. Now the last thing we gotta do, get some chives on there, make it look all pretty. Hit it with a little salt, a little fresh cracked black pepper. I do definitely want to enjoy this outside. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful looking breakfast that I cannot wait to dig into. Looks so good. Cheers. Breakfast has been, and I think always will be, my favorite meal of the day. I will say though, these turkey patty sausages kind of came out like hockey pucks. Not really the worst, but could have been better. But I do think Dalton said that there is better fishing up kind of closer to where the dam is up there, where the water's a little shallower. Also, these blueberry pancakes are fire. I think once I finish my gigantic breakfast, we're gonna drive up there, see if we can't catch some fish. And I think there's even some hot springs up and down this river that I might check out. Anyways, we're gonna finish this, and then we're heading that way. All right, everything's cleaned up, packed away, got my rod ready. Let's head down there and see what we can find. And it's a good thing there's only one road in and out of this canyon because I do not have GPS right now. All I know is I'm going left. Beautiful down here. I really can't get over how cool it is out here. And I would have never thought to come down here if I hadn't talked to Dalton. This is crazy. Honestly, one of the more beautiful landscapes I've seen in America. But I think this dam's a little bit farther than I thought. We've been driving for about 10 minutes and I'm not sure how close we are. Just imagine living in that house. Waking up to this view every single morning. Alright, so I think maybe here I can go fish. I'm not too sure. Let me go see what it looks like down there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I might be able to get out on one of those rocks. He said it's near the camp, and the camp's right there, so start here and see how this works. I do really hope I catch something today, but it's more so I just want to get practice down. I don't really have any service to look up any more videos. I watched some videos last night on how to cast, and then Dalton showed me some ways. But we're just gonna kind of practice and get a feel for it today with no pressure of actually catching something. To be honest, at the end of the day, I don't even know if I'm fishing in the right spot in the river, where I should be, where the fish typically like to go. Do they like to be near the bank? Do they like to be near the center? All of that kind of stuff. But we'll figure that out eventually. For now, we're just having fun. Oh, God. Ow. Ugh. It just blows my mind how small these hooks are. What are you gonna catch with that? All right, let's catch us a trout. Yo, I'm gonna fall in the water. Why do I immediately forget everything he told me? Yeah, that was a little bit better. Come on. What is going on here? Should have watched more videos. I'm all wrapped up. How do these dudes do it? How do you manage your line? I got it all tangled up. Oh, great. All right, time to reset. See, how do you... There's so much line. It's all over the place. All right, I want to take a few minutes, get myself oriented and maybe a little bit more used to whatever I'm doing and get this untied and then check back in with you guys. All right, so I've been fishing for about an hour. No bites, don't even know if I'm doing this right, but we have made a little friend. Mr. Lizard. I think I'm gonna stay here for another 20 minutes, just practice casting a little bit more, and then we're gonna get out of here. Go find somewhere that's a little bit easier to fish. It's getting a bit easier to control it. Said a few choice words when I was off camera trying to get this untangled when I got it tangled up for the 14th time, but I've got the hang of at least, I think, like some of the motions, at least the basics. I've got kind of a cast down, but I still don't know if I'm really fishing right, if I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of just pulling it in, roll casting it upstream, and letting it float down. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do. Just kind of getting a feel for things, letting it get out there. And then maybe we'll try some other stuff at another time. But this feels good for now. This is the first 30 casts I've had in a row that haven't gotten tangled up or messed up somehow. All right, let's go find another spot. This is definitely gonna take some getting used to. This rod is just unbelievably long. He's gotta be like, what, 9-10 feet? I don't even know. No bites at the first stop. On to the next. All right, I think I've found my second spot. Out there looks real nice. And I know I'm in a general vicinity where fish can be caught, or it's a good spot because there's another guy down there fishing and there's two guys right down behind me fishing. This spot is definitely much easier to cast in though than the other one was. There's not as many things right around me. All right, so we've been out here for about an hour and a half. Sorry if you guys can't hear me from the wind. I'll try to block it. But I just talked to that guy walking down the road. He says the water's a little bit high, so him and his dad have been out here for a couple hours and they're stumped on where to go and what to do because the water's so high. He said he thinks they turned on the flow from the dam, so the water's a little bit higher than it normally would be. So maybe it's not me, but I'm not gonna let that stop us. We're gonna sit out here. We got nothing else to do. Fish for a couple more hours and then get up out of this canyon. Hopefully we catch something. If not today, next time though. So I'm fishing out here with no luck for another hour. You mind being on camera at all?
Sure, no.
And what was your name?
Chris.
Chris? Ryan.
Ryan?
Nice to meet you, yeah.
Yeah.
I was fishing out here for like an hour and a half trying to catch something. He said the water is up at 1,500?
1,500 CFS, cubic feet per second.
1,500 CFS from what it was, 200 2 days ago?
250 2 days ago, 500 yesterday. Fishing was still good. 1,500 is going to be a little bit high and moving fast.
So maybe it's not me today. Probably is halfway me, but also the water's high.
You got a good excuse today.
Yeah. I needed some validation that I had.
Yeah, there you go.
That wasn't all me.
I'm the validation guy.
Yeah, there you go. But he's giving me what's called a streamer.
Streamer, so it imitates other fish. When the water goes up, sometimes little fish, like they're called crappie, they get sucked through the dam, and then the bigger fish will feed on them. So It's got a little bit of shine, a little bit of weight on it, so it'll get down a little bit. You'll cast in these eddies here where the water's slower. The fish are sitting. So they want to stay out of the fast water, so they don't have to work very hard. And then when the flies come down, or the fish, the bait, whatever, comes down, they'll like dart into the fast water and eat it.
Have you done any fishing today or no?
A very little bit. I hosted a river cleanup today. Did you see people cleaning up the river today?
Yeah, I did. One lady came down. The kid that helped me out at the shop that I was at yesterday, TRR.
Yeah, Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton. He came down. He was telling me he was down here doing what's it called?
That's my business.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
so
and is that your river guides?
Boise River Guides. Yeah.
All right. If you ever need a river guide in Boise River Guides, check them out.
Yeah. A trout's not going to want to be like out in that super fast stuff.
So that's what I was thinking. I didn't know if I was supposed to be going in the fast water or the slower water, or where they'd like to sit.
The edges, right? So you see where the fast water and the slow water come together right here. Okay, so the fast water has the food coming down. The slow water makes it easier for the trout to sit, so they're not burning as many calories.
Okay.
They want to sit in water and burn as few calories as can, and then be able to be close to calories, food coming down. So now we would pretend like this streamer is coming down river. See how I'm just kind of like wiggling the rod tip? See the fly in the water?
And what's the point? What's the point of false casting? Is there any point?
So false casting is used for a couple different reasons. Accuracy, right? If I want to drop it in right, like right behind that rock there, So I'm kind of working it a little more. Yeah, right about there. Boom. So you got to get the line back out there. Use the false cast to let line out. You let line out at 2 places. Here, look. Here on the back cast, here on the forward cast, not in between. Right? So, oh, there's one.
You got
Just
one?
kidding. No.
Well, there we go. That was Chris with Boise River Guides. Gave me some lemon poppy muffins and a streamer. So we're gonna try with that for next 30 minutes and then we're probably gonna get out of here. So we might have lost the battle, but we have not lost the war. We'll come out and fish another day, maybe at a better river later in the season when flow's not too high and the season's a little bit better. But there are, from what I've heard from people that I've talked to today, some hot springs just up the way, and I've worked up a sweat. My back's killing me from casting that rod all day, not catching shit. All right, I think I found where the hot springs are. I don't know if it really looks like it's much of a hot spring though. It kind of just looks like a hot stream that drains out into the river. Maybe I can't fully rinse off in it, but I put my feet in. You can see the steam coming off of it. It's pretty cool. Wow, that's extremely hot. Even down by the river, it's so hot, but it's weird because since it drains out into the river, oh, there's a snake. Maybe I shouldn't be wearing my Birkenstocks. But since it drains out into the river, it's like super hot. Like if you step in right here, it's super hot on the top, but then 2-3 inches down, it's freezing cold. Like my toes are freezing cold and my ankles are burning hot. I bet you when the water's lower, looks like there's a wall here that keeps kind of the hot water in. Might be a little better for sitting in, but right now, not so much. So I guess we will not be taking a bath, but the water smells kind of weird anyway. So I think that's what I'm going to call it for this video. As always, I truly appreciate you guys watching. Shout out to Dalton and Steve for showing me how to set up my fly and how to fish. Check them out, Boise River Guides. That's it for me. I will see you guys next time.